Remember when everybody was joking shit? They were like, you know what is going to be a Travis's and you know what it was? So yesterday I decided to hop on the L train, then transfer to the C train, and go to the Taylor Swift The Life of a Showgirl pop-up in Manhattan at High Line 9. I got there about 30 minutes after it started, so around 12:30, and there's a line around the block. And we go around the block, and there's a line around the next block. And the next block, we counted it was around 20 blocks. It was a line that was around 20 blocks long. And it's times like this where I forget that I stand the most famous woman on the planet. And I have since I was 5. Hey, I'm Caleb. I make movies and music, and I like to talk about them. And today we are talking about The Life of a Showgirl, Taylor Swift's highly anticipated album that dropped last night, produced by her, Max Martin, and Shellback. This album was made specifically for me because my biggest critiques of George Post Department was that it was a little too wordy. There's a little too much going on. There's too many songs, and I thought that the production was starting to get stale with Jack. Not that it was bad, but just that she had started to create a sound that was happening over and over and over. Max Martin is one of the most prolific producers of our time, and I think Shellback is also incredibly underrated. Just seeing them return to form to create a 12-track, tight pop album, you know what, I was sad. I was so sad, and it dropped last night at midnight, and if you can't tell, I'm sick. I'm quite sick. My voice sounds as if it was thrust into hell itself, but you know what? I am a Swiftie first, sick second. So I popped 2 Advil, and I locked in. And you know what? The moment that bass line hit on Fate of Ophelia, So I entered psychosis, I blacked out, and I had to listen to the album about 4 times. So today I wanted to give my first impressions, breakdown, and ranking of this honestly ridiculous album. If you're gonna come in here and be like, well, the lyrics are corny, well, I was raised on the cob. It's Taylor Swift. She's a millennial. She's been corny since the dawn of time. And I think people like to make fun of her for this as if it's some sort of gotcha, but I think, this is the person who makes bread and calls it Fate of Dophelia. So, what are we really doing here? I personally, the corny lyrics don't bother me except in one song, and we'll get to that. But going through first impressions, Pop Taylor is back, and this album as a whole sounds fresh. It doesn't sound like rap like I wanted. It doesn't sound like 1989. It doesn't sound like Red. It doesn't sound like Midnights. It's a kind of a blend of all of her past songs with a new and lush, very 70s rock kind of inspired sound on a lot of these. But let's dive right in. Like I said, the moment that I heard the piano on Fate of Ophelia, I was like, okay, Willow sister, Great American Dynasty sister, Cardigan sister, and then the bass line hit. And I was like, okay. This song almost serves as a direct continuation of the prophecy where she says that she has sworn allegiance to just herself and given up on love until he saved her from the fate of Ophelia, which Ophelia famously drowned because she went crazy because of love. We know. We all went to 8th grade literature class. We read Hamlet, hopefully. I guess some of you are young enough that you might have used ChatGPT to give a recap of that. And you know what? I hope that didn't happen to you. This album is more the I Love You Travis album than it is The Life of a Showgirl, but there's definitely moments where you're like, okay, this is a peek behind the curtain. But I guess, if what's going on behind the curtain is, sex with your football boyfriend, I guess that is the life of a showgirl. I guess that would be your life. Not at all what I was expecting, and I honestly feel like the visuals and the songs don't have that much overlap, but I'm okay with that because the visuals are good and the songs are good. So, Fate of Ophelia, 10 out of 10 in my book. I am very thankful that she's actually using her voice again in the full capacity. Ophelia! She is opening her mouth again and she's projecting her voice. Thank God. Moving on to Elizabeth Taylor. This is the best song on the album, in my humble opinion. Well, I don't know. We'll get to the ranking, but this is the first track I was like, okay, so we're in for a treat. We're in for something we haven't had before. It sounds so different yet so familiar. This is the first Reputation daughter on the entire album, and I was sad. The bait and switch at first, you have the pianos and those building strings. You're like, oh, okay. Once again, Cardigan daughter. When that chorus hits, hello, I sat straight up in bed and I was like, so what was that? I cried my eyes wide. And the drums and the bass are roaring. I think just the metaphor in general of comparing her life to Elizabeth Taylor's, it's a lot more angsty than the other tracks are. And she's like, if you ever do leave, I will probably die. I will probably die. It's giving Cornelia Street, but better, way better than Cornelia Street, some would say. What can you get for the girl who has everything but nothing all at once? I think this is a sentiment she has sung about a lot, where she does have everything, but she has felt so alone. And the line, I've been number one, but never two, you know what, wraps it up in a bow. Sums it up. Sums up her entire career and where she has been to this point. And I think this is the first time we have ever seen one of her muses almost as an equal to her and on the same playing field. And I love it. Obviously, Elizabeth Taylor, she had 8 marriages. This is partly Taylor Swift musing about, like, you know, is this real? Is this one gonna stick? Or is this gonna be like the other 7 failed marriages kind of thing? You know what? The bridge, downright magical. That sparkly synth. Ooh, right back into that like hard hitting chorus. I cannot stress how hard the chorus hits. It shakes your house. It shakes your speakers. It rattles around in your brain for a few hours. The bass and the kick, like the mixing of them specifically. Thank you, Max Martin. You know, listening to this album isn't enough. I need Max Martin to fuck me. Moving on to Opalite, I honestly think that these 3 tracks is like the best track run she's had in forever. The best 3-track run she has had in so long. I think it's just such a good way to start a song off by saying, had a habit of missing lovers past. My brother used to call it digging in the trash. Hashtag Austin Swift shout out. Austin Swift shout out. And you know what? He's never been more true. And as much as I like woulda, coulda, shoulda, you know what? We are digging the trash. We are thinking about John Mayer. We are giving him time that he does not deserve. And I think that kind of goes for a lot of her past situationships where it comes back to haunt her. And the line, she lives with ghosts, I think this is the first time we've ever seen her being like, well, all that's like really truly over now because I am like well in this. You know, we were dancing through the lightning strikes, as she says. This is kind of giving Invisible String in the way that it's, you know, you see both sides where he felt alone, but he couldn't really explain why. And she also felt alone. And then together, they come together and they were dancing through the lightning strikes. It's all right. It's probably the sweetest song she's written in forever, and it's so fucking catchy and danceable. It's almost like the production almost matches I Think He Knows, except I think this one's better than I Think He Knows. I Think He Knows a lot. I quite like it, but I think Opalite is such a like beautifully vivid song, and talking about how like they've both danced through the storm and now the sky is opalite. It's that orange blue after a rain, you know, the sun has come out. Like, I'm sad. I think that's such beautiful and vivid imagery. She's so disgustingly in love. Like, it's good. I mean, it's great. Disgusting's not the word, but it's like when you're so in love that's like, oh, okay, gross. Like, keep that to yourself. Like, in a loving way. This album is so different from her other collaborations with Max Martin and Shellback in the sense that it's a lot wordier and the imagery is so much more vivid. And a lot of times with Max Martin, he focuses on what will make the catchiest, poppiest song, and he doesn't necessarily care about the story. But I think for this album specifically, they really wanted to tell stories. And I think each song, they do tell concise and very vivid stories. And I think it's such a fun and interesting push forward for the 3 of them. Moving on to Father Figure. Who the hell is this about? Who the hell is this about? This is the Tay Godfather. This is the Mafia. This is I Protect the Family. I think this is one of the first times I've seen Taylor Swift really talk about the power she has in a way that's not Who's Afraid of Little Old Me, because I don't like that song at all. I'm sorry, it sounds amazing, but the lyrics, what are we doing? Father Figure with the interpolation of Father Figure by George Michael. I love it. I love the Mafia allusions and the double cross at the end. But I am so curious as to who this is about. I think it's mostly like a composite sketch of a few different occasions in her life where she has been double-crossed by somebody who wanted power, and she was like, well, I have to cancel your credit card. Unfortunately, your credit card is canceled, and you will not be moving forward to the second round. I think this is probably referring to a few different instances, pre-Snakegate and post-Snakegate. I know people online are going to say this is about Olivia, and it's not. You know what? In my heart of hearts, it's not. And if it is, it's not. I'm going to choose to ignore that. That is not my tea. That is none of my business. But it is a good-ass song. I make deals with the devil because my dick is bigger. Well, yes. You do, Taylor Swift. You are the most powerful person on the planet. You can get every single person in Manhattan in line to walk through a glorified haunted house. Shout out the Life of a Showgirl pop-up event at Highline 9. But I think this song also sounds so good. The production on this album is like consistently incredible, except for a couple places. But overall, I think this might be one of her best produced albums. I think it sounds so lush, so full, and it's another win for good produced albums in 2025. Okay, so we now move on to our first chop of the album, Eldest Daughter. Now,
what? No, all right. I know that sounds bad.
But I think Eldest Daughter, one, isn't very catchy. Two, I think hearing the word memes in a song, for me, it's not doing what needs to be done. And I think the lyrics on this one, I understand why they're corny. I know she's saying, I'm not a bad bitch. This isn't savage. We look fire. You know, it's too 2020. And I understand that she is a person who exists in 2020, but it's one of those things where it's like, it's so millennial that it's like beating me over the head with pots and pans. But the message of the song itself is good. It's so good. Like when she says, when I said I don't want to get married, I lied. Okay, when I'm sad, I'm listening. And Eldest Daughters, we were the first to the slaughter. I get the imagery and I like it, but it doesn't, to me, the production is kind of boring and bland. And I think like the lexicon used in it, it's so like online, but the song doesn't sound like an online song at all, you know? I think the reason like some of the things on Brat actually work is because it sounds like the internet. This song does not sound like the internet. This sounds like a Disney Channel original song where they're playing like a ballad on a piano, right? And you know, it doesn't work for me. It doesn't click for me. And I'm praying, you know, and I'm honestly praying that it grows on me, but I don't see a future for this song for me. But anyways, Eldest Daughter, chop, moving on. Ruin the Friendship. So this song initially, I thought it was like, okay, so it's another high school song, but then you have that Abigail mention, you're like, okay, so this is about Forever Winter. This might be one of the saddest songs she's written. I think when she said, I whispered at the grave, I should have kissed you anyway, I literally just got chills thinking about it. I don't know if you can see it on my camera, but I literally just got chills like saying it myself. I think this is such a beautifully written song about, you know, missing chances and, you know, dealing with grief. And it also hits me on a more personal level because I had a personal experience that wasn't necessarily one-to-one of this, but, you know, it had to deal with being at a grave and talking about missed opportunities. And I think it's just such a beautifully written song, and I love the production as well. It's such a, like, beautiful, glittery production, and she's like, yeah, so, you know, one of the people I really love died. And it's like, I couldn't process it on the first 3 listens. On the 4th listen, I was like, okay, like I get it. It's also like I'm gonna need a few weeks to process, honestly. But I think this would have been a better track 5 than Eldest Daughter. Cancel me. Anyways, now girls, this is where the gloves come off. Actually romantic. First of all, Charlie, get behind me. Second of all, she got you good. This song is so fucking good. This song is one of the best songs she's released in the past 5 years, I think. It has these like very coy and silly lines. Honestly, ruthless. I mean, calling somebody who has written a song saying you make me feel insignificant a toy chihuahua. I'm a Charlie stan. I have been a Charlie stan. But in this song, it does imply that, you know, Charlie was talking shit behind Taylor Swift's back, off screen, not just in Sympathy is a Knife. Sympathy is a Knife is an amazing song, I think, and I don't think it's actually necessarily even that targeted towards Taylor. It's more about Charlie herself and how she feels. But according to Taylor, you know, Charlie behind the scenes was like, I hate you. I'm glad you and your boyfriend broke up. And, you know, I am here for the drama. I'm here for the tea. I'm here for a garage band rock moment. It is so, like, the guitar on this, and especially in the second half, is so good. And they have, like, this vox that they do on her voice towards the end that's interlaced. Like, you hate me so much. Just kill me so much. It's so catchy and infectious. This is one of the best moments on the album. I was gagged. This is like, I don't think Taylor Swift has ever written something so directed, like clearly directed, since maybe Bad Blood, but even then the lyrics in Bad Blood are like so like whatever. I think this is why we can't have nice things as well, but like this is Reputation if she like actually did a line. And she was like, you know what, takes one to know one. So she did a line and she wrote this song. You know what, the gloves are off and I have nothing to do but clap and cheer, and I hope this beef honestly either keeps going or ends in a way that's kind of like Girl So Confusing featuring Lorde, which I don't think it will. They seem like they hate each other. They seem like they want to kill each other. I just like, I can't even get over the mixing. Like, this is the rock song from Taylor Swift that I knew she had in her. This is better than Revenge Daughter, the original version, not the new chopped version. But I can't do anything but clap and cheer, and I wonder how this is going to turn out between them. Moving on to Wish List. Okay, so Wish List, it's cute, but ultimately it's kind of one of the more boring songs on the album for me. It kind of feels like Suburban Legends in a way where it's like, I don't want to be rich, I just want to have kids, and like I want everybody to leave us alone, kind of giving the lakes. I think the production on it is kind of ultimately what does it for me, where I feel like it's a little overproduced in a way. You know, the synth and the drums kind of like blend into each other and they're really reverbed. Not a huge fan of it. I don't think it's bad or anything. It's just one of those more forgettable songs against like global superstars, like Actually Romantic. Like going from Actually Romantic into this, it's like, okay, like it's good. Like, you know, it's good. It could be worse. Life could be worse. Life could be so much worse. But not too much to say about Wishlist. I think like, you know, she's obviously talking about, she's like, I don't want riches. It's, you know, it's a continuation of the prophecy, except like now she actually has a fiance. Ultimately for me, it's either a grower or it's mid. It's mid to okay. Now, Wood. Remember when everybody was joking shit? They were like, you know what? Wood is going to be a Travis's dick. And you know what it was? And they weren't wrong. And they were not wrong. Unfortunately for us, this song is about Travis's dick. And I think it's so funny that she references that tweet that's like, Swiftie when Ariana sing about sex and doesn't write it like, he stuck his long wood into my redwood forest and let his sap ferment my roots. She refers to it as a redwood tree. And also like, hello Jackson 5. Like, this sounds like I Want You Back almost. It's such a groovy, danceable song. And you know what? I am here for the horny Taylor Swift lyrics. I love it. I think it's fun. I think it's camp. And I think, you know what, we should let women be horny freaks. And especially after they've spent their almost like their entire career having to be pulled back and not really talk about sex. I think the fact that she made a whole song about her fiance's dick and how big it is, you know what? I'm locked in. I'm listening and I'm dancing. I think when she says he dickmatized me, his love was the key that opened my thighs, I kind of went, well, all right then. What else is there to say? The production on it, once again, so groovy, very 70s, early 80s kind of like glam rock vibe going on. It's very pop, very, very shimmery, very groovy, and I love it. I love it. It sounds so different from like almost everything she's ever made up until this point. Oh, girls. Now, Cancelled. Cancelled is the third Reputation daughter on this album. Whoa boy, hashtag dark woke, hashtag building a coalition of people who have been canceled. So it's kind of like socialism, but in a, you know, canceled way. The first dark woke song ever, some would say. This is kind of giving Blake Lively tea. I'm not the most versed on that, but I do know that Blake Lively was there for her, and you know what? It just seems like Taylor Swift is saying, well, we have the same scars. I like my friends draped in Gucci and Scandal. Cool ass lyric, I would say. And I think the actual like production of this song, like I really do think it's some of the best production on the album. It's such a heavy hitting song. And I think, like, I'm glad that she finally has teeth in her songs again. Whether she's a little bit corny here and there, that's none of my business because I was raised on the cob. But I do think, you know, this is like one of her first albums where it's like, okay, finally the gloves are off. She's got a little bit of bite in her. She got a little bit of fight. And you know what? I'm a fan of girls who bite. Moving on to Honey. Honey is such a like beautiful little cute little song about, you know, reclaiming the word honey, because it used to be like a derogatory term spoken at her. They're like, honey, you know, that skirt is too short, you know, and making fun of her. But now it's like, you can call me honey if you want, because I'm the one you want. Like, that's such a cute little lyric. And it honestly sounds like an outtake from Lover if Lover was like way better. I do love Lover, but honestly, this song like does circles around most of the songs on there, except for maybe Cruel Summer, Death by a Thousand Cuts, and Afterglow. But I think in general, this is such a like little cute little song. And I mean, there's not much to say about it other than I love the production. I think it's very low key. I think it's a nice like segue from Canceled into Life of a Showgirl, but not too much to say about Honey other than it's cute. It's about Travis. Like, what more do you want? Now, Life of a Showgirl. Okay, so title track, I actually don't like the production on this one as much. I do think the lyrics are really good. You know, whoever Kitty is, that's none of my business. It sounds more like This is a song about Taylor talking to Sabrina and telling her about, you really don't know what it's like to be a showgirl until you're there. And I think this is almost like a continuation of Clara Bow, except it's a little bit more hopeful, and it ends with, the Eras Tour audio where she's like, thank you so much, give it up for the band, give it up for Sabrina, I love you, Taylor, good night. I think that's cute, and I think like the message of it really makes sense where, it's talking about you don't really know what it's like until you're there, and it's hard, and it's not all that glamorous. You're so beautiful, and like you're so soft, like I don't think you really want this as much as you do. But then you get there and you're like, now I make my money being witty and pretty. I'm like, okay, like, all right. And she's like, I understand it now. I think, it's very The Lucky One, it's very Clara Bow, it's very The Great American Dynasty. Well, yes, it sounds good. It feels a little busy. It feels a little too busy for me. Like when you listen, it's kind of one of those things where it's like, okay, I don't really know what I'm supposed to be focusing on. But hello vocals from both Sabrina and Taylor. At first, Sabrina was kind of eating her up, and then Taylor came back. She was like, not too much. So this is my album. I am Tay Godfather. You will watch your mouth, literally. But yeah, that is my first impressions and reactions. Let's move on to ranking. I think like overall this album is like genuinely amazing. I think I was gagged start to finish, and there's only a couple moments where I was scratching my head. But I think like this is an album that I've wanted from her for such a long time, and to have Max Martin and Shellback back on it, have a 12-track tight album. I do kind of wish there was a little more songs because I'm greedy. But I think like having 12 songs that are handpicked and that there's no more, and that this is what she wants to say with this album, I think is great. I think it's what I've wanted from her for a very long time. So let's go into a ranking, shall we? So for this ranking, I have 5 tiers. So like left to right it's going to be ranked, 1 through 12 kind of. But my tiers for today are Jesus Was Seen, which is a song so good, I can't believe it exists. A song so good, I can't believe it exists. Jesus Was Seen. Rachel, show it to me. Rachel, please. The next tier down is T, which I think it's like a very good song. And I'm like, okay, like, wait, I'm locked in. It's not so good, it's unbelievably good, but it's good. It's like really, really good. It's right there. It's almost K-pop Bible, but it is incredibly good. Now, next is All Right. And that's a song that's just good. It's all right, and I hope it's a grower. And we'll see if it is. The next tier is Well. And that's like a song that's not terrible, but just like, all right. Like, it's fine. Filler, if you will. I actually don't anticipate that much being in Well. And now there's one tier that's Delete. And that is a song I think is flat out bad. And I already know which song is going in there, and there's only one. Now, we're going to start off with Fate of Ophelia. Immediately, Jesus Was Seen. I think this is such a good opener, and I'm so excited to see the music video in theaters tomorrow. I was unbelievably gagged by this. Elizabeth Taylor, Jesus Was Seen. This is going ahead of Fate of Ophelia. I think, honestly, Elizabeth Taylor might be one of the best songs she's ever made. I think, like, off rip, just unbelievably good. Like, unfucking believably good. Opalite, Jesus Was Seen. Jesus Was Seen. These are like, I feel like these 3 songs sound like nothing else in her discography. I feel like they sound so fresh, so original, and I can't get over them. Moving on to Father Figure, I think it's T. I think it's definitely a grower for me. Like, I think it's very, very good. I don't necessarily know how much replayability it has for me, just because I'm not a father figure. I'm not a mafia boss at all. Like, look at me. Like, do I look like I'm running shit? No, I'm not. The only shit I'm running is my life into the ground. And that's T. But Father Figure, I think it's really good, and I think it has like such good production that it's like I can't put it in all right. I think it's really well written, and I think it's interesting. Eldest Daughter, Delete. And you know what? I hope it grows on me, but right now, not too much to say about that. Ruin the Friendship. T. Ruin the Friendship is T. I think Ruin the Friendship is better than Father Figure. I think it's such a good, beautiful song. I do kind of want to put it in Jesus Scene. I think it's not as catchy as these. And I think that's kind of my truth right now. I think Ruin the Friendship is a beautiful little song, but it's not the catchiest. Actually, Romantic. Ooh. Actually, Romantic is the Jesus Was Seen, but I can't tell if it's better than. I don't think it's better than Elizabeth Taylor. I think it's just as good. I'm gonna leave that for now. I'm gonna leave it like that for now. I think 4 Jesus Was Scenes on one album, and there's probably more, is already amazing. It's already insane. It's already so very good. Like, the vibes are up in Swiftie Nation. You know, being a Taylor Swift fan is it's the giving tree. It's the giving tree. Wish list. I'm gonna put that in well. I think it's fine. It's not really for me. I think the production is kind of whatever. The story, like, all right. I feel like she's done it before. Would. I'm giving it T. I'm giving it T. It's catchy. The little knock on wood is so good. I like her being a horny freak. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I do not care. We are now moving on to canceled. Jesus Was Seen. Jesus Was Seen. I think it's so good. It's honestly, realistically, I should probably move Wood down to all right and canceled down to here, I would say. That's more real. No, I love canceled. Canceled staying up there. I do like the knock on wood. I think that's good. I think it's better than Father Figure. Oh, hello. I think it's better than Father Figure. I'm going to put Father Figure in all right. I think it's well produced. I think it's a good catchy song. I think it's just I have to have something there. Honey, I think is going in T. I think it's better than both of these. I think it's almost a Jesus Was Seen, and it might grow to a Jesus Was Seen, but I think it's such a cute, glittery song. I think it's going in T. The Life of a Showgirl. I'm putting it in all right. I am putting it in all right. I think it's good. I think I definitely need to listen to it a little bit more, but let's look at this. So my number 1, Elizabeth Taylor. Well, yes. My number 2, Actually Romantic. My number 3, Fate of Ophelia. My number 4, Opalite. Number 5, Cancelled. Number 6, Honey. Number 7, Ruin the Friendship. Number 8, Wood. Number 9, Father Figure. Number 10, Life of a Showgirl. Number 11, Wish List. And number 12, Eldest Daughter. I think I'm standing on that. I'm going to stand on business. I'm so happy this album exists. I can't wait to get my signed CD sometime this week. Very excited. I can't wait to see the movie. I'm so happy that this album came out, and her music just means so much to me. And I think this album is a return to the Taylor Swift that I fell in love with a combination of the Taylor Swift that saved my life. So I got to give this album its 10s. I'm giving it a 10 out of 10. You know what? I'm biased. If I had to give it an objective ranking, I'd say probably 9 out of 10. But for me, it's a 10 out of 10. And I can't wait for my signed CD. I can't wait for the movie tomorrow. So let me know what you thought of this album. You know, I can't believe we get to live in a time where this album exists. So thank you so much for watching this. Let me know if you agree or disagree in the comments below. Once again, I am Caleb. I make music and movies, and I like to talk about them all the time. I love Taylor Swift, and I'm excited to see the rest of this era. So thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, give it a like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.